Elizabeth here, and I'm going to show you a workhorse in my kitchen, the Ultimate Mandolin. What makes a Pampered Chef mandolin really cool is that it comes with a blade garage where all of your blades are attached. Right here is where you pull up the door and your blades park for the night. No longer do you need to wash them every time you wash your mandolin, only the ones that you use. And then the mandolin also has an easel, so it makes it easier to use so it holds itself up. When you remove the food finger guard, pick the blade that you're going to use, and each blade is designed for something different. Your V-shaped blade is going to be used when you're doing something that kind of has a give, like a tomato or a cucumber or a pepper, something that has a little more squishiness to it. Now in the summertime, when you have that sloppy tomato, and you know what I'm talking about if you're from the country and you have your own garden, a sloppy tomato is not designed to work with the mandolin very well, because you'll end up with tomato juice instead of slices of tomatoes. So your V-shaped blade is going to be for anything that has a little bit of a give. Your straight edge adjusts to two thicknesses. You have a thin and a thick, and you can tell just by looking on the side here as to which one is the thin and which one is the thick. You just slide it here to move it back and forth to the thickness you want. Slide that back in. Then you have a crinkle blade, which makes your cucumbers and potatoes really pretty, especially if you're doing a veggie tray or you're doing scalloped potatoes. And then you have a shred blade. So one of my favorite blades that I use on a regular basis is the V-shaped blade. And so what you do is you slide your blade in, and what you have to listen for is the click. Once you hear that, you know that your blade is clicked in. And then you take your food finger guard, slide it up, and if it stops and rests like that, then you know you have it on right. You pull out the center piece, and then you put whatever you're going to slice in it here, and then as you go over the blade, you can hear that clicking. That is the food finger guard actually going across the little knobs here, raising the blade up to meet your food so it can slice it. Go back and forth, and then once you kind of get down, you push down on the handle, and you just kind of get your groove going back and forth. You get this one little piece here that didn't want to go through, and there you have your onion that is nicely sliced. Now let's say you wanted to do a potato. We would take out our straight edge blade, swap it out on the mandolin, and then we would do something like, say, a potato. Now, if you have a food that's really, really tall, my first tip to you is to cut it in half, because if it's really tall, it makes it really difficult to maneuver it. But this is kind of a short, squatty potato, so we're okay. Pop that in there. But one of the other things that I think is really awesome about our mandolin is that you can take a bowl, like our glass mixing bowls here, fold the easel in, and see that it has these grooves. So it's going to sit on top of a bowl so that you can slice right into it. And then you get nice thin slices of potatoes, which are the best way to do mashed potatoes. That way they all get done at the same time. And so you just go back and forth until your potato is done. Then the next blade I want to show you real quick is our crinkle blade. I'm going to remove these. And when you go to do your dishes tonight in the dishwasher, you're just going to slide these right into the top rack and they'll get washed perfectly. We're going to use our crinkle blade. Pull this guy out, slide him right back in here. Almost had a little accident here, almost went overboard. Pull the easel back up, and I'm just going to use a little bit of a cucumber so I can show you how the wavy crinkle blade works, which is really cool. Again, you just, anytime you're ready to put more food in, you just grab your food finger guard. Now, the three blades that I've used so far will not work if you do not use the food finger guard. So if you think you're going to live dangerously and slice it really quick, you can't do that. Because what happens when you're using the food finger guard is that the food finger guard goes across the blade and these little nubs here, raises it up, slices it, and then it pops back down. So you can run your fingers back and forth right now, and I'm not going to worry about cutting my fingers off or have to make a trip to the ER. So real quick, we're going to do our crinkle blade so you can see how cool that is. And actually, he's a little tall. I'm just going to shorten him just a smidge to make it a little bit easier. And somewhere on my apron, I'm pretty sure it says Pampered Chef, not Perfect Chef, so you just kind of wing it. But you really just kind of get a groove going, and it slices it perfectly. You can see here how the crinkle blades are great for giving it little grooves, so that when you dip it into that, go Raisin, when you dip it into that ranch dressing, you can get a good bite. Now the last blade I'm going to show you real quick is our shredding blade, and that would be this guy here. He is the only one that works without the food finger guard. So you can take the food finger guard off. Whoops, got a cucumber stuck here. Come here. Slide out this blade, and then add this one here, and you can shred your cheese. So you just take a good old block of cheese, because you don't want to buy any shredded cheese, because you know that's filled with all kinds of preservatives. Take a little hunk here. Now if you wanted to use a food finger guard, you could. It just isn't one of the blades that is required. And then you just go back and forth until you get a nice little shred there. So with the Ultimate Mandolin, don't forget the perks that you get with it. The easel, the stand that makes it so much easier to use. You can also use it over top of a bowl if you were going to do a whole lot of slicing. You can do it right there on the bowl. And then it also comes with its blade garage, which houses all 4 blades, and then it stores nicely right here on the mandolin. So when you go to store this in your cupboard, that's all the space it's going to take up. So now if you want to get your own Ultimate Mandolin, visit my website at www.pamperedchef.biz/eBrinster. It's item 1109 and it's $72. Get your Ultimate Mandolin today.